All right, today we're looking at 7.3. We're going over polynomial division. Number one wants us to use long division to divide. We're going to identify the dividend, divisor, quotient, and remainder, and then we're going to check the results from part A with the division algorithm. So when you're doing long division, it's similar to when you divide numbers. So just as a reference point, let's just say we were taking 48 and we're going to divide it by 7. Okay. We look and see how many times will 7 go into this number without going over what we need to multiply it by. We want one to set 4, so we look at 48. 7 will go into 48 6 times. So 6 times 7 will give us 42. And then once we write this number down, we subtract. And then once we subtract, if we had more numbers or if we want to do decimal points, we would bring down the next term. And then we would repeat that process. How many times will 7 go into this number? 7 will go into 60. 7 times 8 is 56. Okay, so we get 56. And then we would subtract. We get 4. And then we can continue that process as long as we wanted to. But if we stopped at 6 would be my whole number, and then my remainder after I had done 7 times 6 was 42, I had a remainder of 6. So I wrote it as a mixed number. I would have 6 over 7 remaining, but you can also write the decimal form. So we're going to be using that same process to do long division. So we're dividing the 12x squared plus 43x plus 72 by 3x plus 4. So the 3x plus 4 goes outside of the division bar, and then on the inside we put the 12x squared plus 43x plus 72. This is the divisor, this is the dividend, and then we're going to divide these two things. So when you do long division, you only focus on the front term. Okay? So I'm only focusing on that first term each time. So I want to know 3 times what gives me 12. So 3 times 4. Okay, so that takes care of my number. Now I'll look at the variable. So I have 1x, I want 2 x's, I need to have 2, so I just need to add 1 more. So 4x is the term. Then if I multiply 4x times 3x, it gives me 12x squared. All right. So now we're going to multiply this term by both terms here. We're going to distribute. So 4x times 3x, this should always match up with this term, 12x squared. Same term, same sign. 4 times 4x will give us 16x, and it's positive. All right, so once you do that, just like here we subtract, we change the sign. So I'm going to say minus because they were both positive. And then we're going to subtract. So this first term should always cancel out. And then 43 minus 16, that should give us 27. 27x, and then we bring down the next term. And then we're going to repeat the same process. So I'm trying to figure out 3 times what gives me 27. That'll be a positive 9. And then we have 1x. We only need 1x, so just 9 is all we need. So 9 times 3, 3x will give me 27x, and then 9 times 4 gives us 36. And then we change the sign so they were both positive, so now we're going to subtract. And then when we subtract, the first term should always cancel out, and this will leave us with a positive 36. Okay, so dividing these two terms, we end up with 4x plus 9, remainder of 36. Now sometimes we'll write it as a polynomial, so we got 36, and we just put that back over the divisor, 3x plus 4, or sometimes they just might write remainder 36. So when we divide this, we get 4x plus 9. I'm going to say plus the 36 over our divisor of 3x plus 4. All right. Then it says the dividend. That would be the 12x squared plus 43x plus 72. The divisor, what we were dividing, 3x plus 4. The quotient is the result of the division problem, so that's the 4x plus 9. And then the remainder was the 36 that we had left. And then it says check that they're equal. These would be equal. So like if we were to multiply this back together, so let's just do the FOIL. Do 4x plus 9 times the 3x plus 4, and we have this plus the 36 remaining. 4 times 3 will give us the 12x squared. 4x times 4, positive 16x. 9 times 3, positive 27x. And then 9 times 4 will give us a positive 36, and then plus this 36 at the back. So we got our 12x squared, 16 and 27 add to give me 43x, and then the 36 plus 36 add to give us positive 72. So we can verify that this is equal to what we started with.